Hello everyone, welcome to the new concepts of classes and objects in Java. So it's a very important concept today, that what is a class and what is an object. Well, in the theoretical lecture we always have gone through the concept of classes and objects, that classes are the logical entities and the objects are the physical entities, right? But in here, in technically, how we are going to create the classes and objects, that's a very important concern. So for now, let me just create a class student over here. Well, because student is a logical entity and can have different attributes, therefore I will be creating a class student. Now this class student can have different attributes. So the attributes of the student can be a roll number, then a name for sure. So I will be taking a name. For now, I will be taking just these two details, right? You can take more details such as address, marks, percentage, contact number, email ID. Well, let me just take one more value, email. Okay. These are the three variables which I have taken in the student class. Now, because this is a class and a class can have different elements present in it, the very first element present in the class are the variables. So talking about the variables, these are the variables. Which type of variables are this? These are called as the instance variables. The instance variables are associated with the class only, okay? And therefore the visibility of the instance variables remains up to the class. That is, these variables will be accessible and visible throughout the class. Now, because we have created the class student, how am I going to give the values to these variables? I will be taking in the new class, of course. So what am I supposed to do? I will be creating the very first object of the student class. The rule for creating the object of a particular class is we have to mention the class name. The object name is equal to new is a keyword which creates a new object, and then class name. This is the rule. So here also I will be taking it as student S1, let us assume, is equal to new student. This is the first object I have created of this student class. The object we have created is now can be helping us to access all of these variables. How this is going to achieve? This S1 student will be associated with these instance variables, right? Similarly, if I have to access some of the values to these variables for the student S1, I can do that using the dot operator. Say S1 dot name Ramesh, S1 dot roll number 101, S1 dot email say Ramesh 101 @gmail.com. Okay, so these are the values of these three variables for only one student, that is S1. Similarly, we can also create another object of the same class, student S2 is equal to new student. Similarly, this S2 can also access these instance variables using the dot operator. S2 dot roll number, say it is equal to 202. S2 dot email is equal to Suresh202 @gmail.com. Now the most important thing is that this is the very first student and this is the second student. Similarly, we can create n number of students of the same class, and these instance variables, because they have the accessibility throughout the class, therefore these are the normal instance variables, and these variables create a copy among all the objects, and therefore none of the values are getting reflected to each other. How we are going to see that? Now what I will be doing is I will be just displaying a very simple messages over here. Say s1 dot name. Okay, I will be printing the values in the same statement so that to avoid any kind of confusion. s1 dot email. Similarly, I will be printing the same statement for S2 so that we will just get a better understanding that S1 and S2 have different copies of these three variables. See in the output, if you can see over here, the values which we have got it, S1 details are here and S2 details are here. It simply shows that these three variables have got different copies among these two objects which we have created, and none of the values have gotten any kind of chaos among these two objects. Therefore, this is number 1 point, the first way of creating. This is the way to create the objects of a class, different objects of a class. This is the way how we are going to use the instance variables throughout this whole class. The most important concept is that the instance variables are visible throughout the class, okay, and they create the copies of themselves among all the objects, and none of any one of them get any kind of interference from any other. Thank you very much.